Well, hello, good morning, welcome back. As you can see, the red book is out again. In case you didn't realise, I'm Claire, this is Purple Poppy, and today we are doing the last two Junk Journal in Julys. We're doing two because I was very naughty and didn't do one over the weekend. So we've got playlist. Now, people of my age probably consider playlist to be music, you know, that's all it could be really. But I decided I'm going to use a bit of poetic license and I'm going for a list. And this is just like an index list, which is useful addresses. And then that took me to an old address book that I've got that's got an interesting picture on. So I thought that's what we would do there. So first things first, we need a good tear ruler. And I'm just going to take the title piece off like so. I'm going to tear down the centre so that I can use the second half another day for something else. Now, how are we doing width-wise? Okay, so we get some of this white off. And I just felt that the musical playlist has been done by a number of people. I've loved some that I've seen. I had great joy watching Carol's one the other day because it was all sort of my era. It was all about basic rollers and the like. And then I thought what I would do is use this piece as a bit of a pocket. Does mean that I'm going to lose quite a lot of the picture, but I wanted, you know, telephone numbers to go with the addresses, so I don't think I've got a lot of choice. So I'm just going to tear it across there like that. We can use that for something else. And I love the fact that the little O is like aged. It's, you know, that's how the address books were then. You had those little flip spaces. Right, let's move this across. And then that's going to come down. Actually, do you know what? Instead of tearing it, what if I fold it like so? Then we can flip it over. Could still be a pocket, but then we could cover up that with the useful addresses. So let's glue this down. We get a messy board. We'll glue this. This is, as you can see, out of a gardening book. So it's Monday. How are you? Have you had a great weekend? You're refreshed and ready to face the week? Or have you spent the weekend doing, you know, DIY or something like that? It's, whilst it's a really good job done and out of the way, it's not exactly relaxing. You probably feel more tired than when you stopped on Friday and started again. And I'm going to set it back to the edge. I don't mind that it overlaps there. That doesn't bother me. But we've got to remember that we're only going to glue down here and across here so that we've got that nice tuck spot. So I'm going to glue it almost on the edge like so. Down there. Okay, and that gives us that, well, it will do when that dries. That will give us that tuck spot. and then I want to cover up that writing, so I'm going to tear this off like so. It's hard to believe we've been doing this for a month. And now it's done. We've got to think of something else to do, haven't we? Now that's obviously too long, isn't it? Can I cut it close enough that it will go right across, or yeah, I think it might actually. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tear a piece of paper, this lovely old book page, to match that. In fact, that's nice that it's slightly larger, because then what I'm going to do is overlap it on the back. I'll show you what I mean. A, it will give us a little bit more strength, and B, it will make it look nice. So put that on there. I don't mind that you can see that there was writing underneath, and then I glue this piece, lovely old vintage paper, and just check, is that, yep, so that can go there like so, and then we've got like a little tab because that overhangs, so that suits me quite nicely. We've got interest there, and we've got a tuck spot there. Yep, pleased with that. That's all good. So there you go, that's the playlist done, or my address list, or whatever. Oh, paper stuck to my finger. So now we're on the very last one, which is nostalgia. Now I really struggled thinking what to do about this. And then I realised I wanted to do things that sort of reminded me of childhood. So I've got this Flower Fairy book, and it's a double page, so it's quite big. So I need quite a big image. Might use that and overlay it. So then I want one that I can fussy cut. You see, one like that would overlay that beautifully, wouldn't it? So there you go, decision made. Get the book out of the way. That paper's fallen out of my paper bin. Right, so first things first, and I love the way it's almost a stained glass window around the outside, because of course that sings to my heart, because I used to make those. So give it a nice rough edge with the tear ruler. Whoops, that bin's obviously too full, isn't it? Sneaky secret is the reason it's too full is because it's got biscuit wrappers in it, because I was snacking when I was here on Saturday. Right, so I'm thinking if that sits on that page there, then the fussy cut one of these will sit on top of it, I think. We'll see how we go. It might be that I do it the other way round and put the crease right down the middle. We'll see how we go. We'll pop that up there for a minute. We'll get a board and a scalpel and a pair of scissors. So we'll do the easy bit with the scissors. Now I'm not going to do all in between the leaves there and that, because apart from anything else, it will take a little while and you're going to get so bored. I'm going to give it quite a wide fussy cut, but obviously closer than I've done with the scissors. That's the only thing, of course, you always lose one, but we might be able to use the back end somehow, so we will keep it just in cases. Right, I'll pop that up there. That's the one to keep. Right, let's have a little look at this. So also, if I remember correctly, this is quite thick paper. So fussy cutting close, it's going to be a bit of a problem. Also, I'm mindful that because I'm blind as a bat, when I fussy cut, I have to have it quite close to me, which obviously I can't really do on camera. So just going to go like this, as I say, and do it quite wide. So, I know I asked about your weekend, but what about your crafting? Getting any crafting done? Been too busy with work and family to find time in the craft room? Oh, it's suddenly got really warm in here. I might have to jump up, put the fan on. Just bear with me 1 second. Here we go, I'm back. Fortunately it's just, oh, that's better. Sorry, you see, this is what happens when I concentrate. I don't speak much. So there is the argument that you could just talk amongst yourselves while I do this, or I could indeed put you on pause, get it done and come back when it's finished. Okay, so I've got her all cut out. And I've looked at her and I've realised that because she's got this straight edge and she's facing to the left, she really needs to be there. So then I think what we need to do is put this about there. So that she's overlapping that, and also actually, excuse me, it's then not quite so obvious that I haven't, you know, cut through all those holes, although it is obvious here. I do like that, I like that a lot, but it's a bit bright, which I'm not happy about. So let's get this glued down and then we'll see what we're going to do about taking away some of the brightness. But also I did want to use this rocking horse stamp because that's another nostalgic childhood thing for me. So I'm thinking there is the position, and I'll find a fold line like that, and that's down now. Decision's been made, hasn't it, really? There you go. And I'm just thinking that I might then they're able to get my rocking horse. Sorry about this. I know that crinkle can be really annoying. You can see this has not been used as yet, so it's going to take a little bit of oomph to get it off. This is one of those ones that comes with the monthly magazines. Oh, there we go. It's like a freebie. So I've pulled it off. I give it a chance to sort of find its place again if it's been slightly stretched. We're going to put her on there like so. I think I need to move her up just slightly so that her hands are not interfering with words. So again, I'm going to glue her up. And I do like autumn. Autumn is one of my most favourite times of the year. So it sort of makes sense, I suppose. Right. Let's move this because obviously now it's covered in glue. And we don't want to stick our book to it, do we? That would be a bit silly. So make sure lined right to the edge. Her hands are not interfering with the words. And obviously because of that fold I need to make sure that's really well stuck down. It's a lovely bit of colour, isn't it? We need a stamping block. Whoops. Oh, ink would be helpful. Need some black ink. Okay, let's pop that down. I suppose technically I should do a test stamp on this, shouldn't I? You know what? I like living dangerously. Let's fly by the seat of our pants here and go for it. Love it. There's definitely a touch of extra nostalgia in there. Now I feel like I need something up here, don't I, of course. And I still want to get rid of the gloss, which, let's have some coffee, see if that brings some thought. Now I'm thinking that maybe Tim Holtz paper would work. Now I did originally, yeah, because they're all quite nostalgic images, aren't they? That one I think will work really well up there. So if you have to be really careful when you tear this stuff. Obviously it's quite thin paper. I do love it though. Must get round to treating myself to some other ones. Right, so we're going to come along here. We don't want the chateau. We want... Now the easiest way to do this, of course, is with a wet paintbrush. But you know me, I like to make my life difficult. Live a bit dangerously, as they say. Right, feel like that, obviously we've got to not interfere with the flower. Maybe I should have got one that went the other way, like that one, because it goes in that way, doesn't it? Or even this one that's a little bit more long and thin. See, this is what happens when I use this paper, because I love all of it. I keep changing my mind about which bit. Yeah, see, I think if you go that way, that's much better. Just want to get rid of the straight line. It sort of melds in a bit better without a straight line. There we go. And days at the seaside, you see? It's all like childhood memories. Okay, but I wanted to get rid of the gloss, didn't I? So the way that I can do that, if we take that off for a minute, is I've got the back of a napkin here. This I believe is two layers. So if we take one layer off, like so, and we put this other layer in there, like that, that will take away some of that glossy shine. Now I'm going to have to be careful here because I don't want to ruin what's behind. So I'm going there with that one, and then I'm going there with that one, like that. Whoops, don't do that, Claire. I'm going to find some gel matte medium and a paintbrush. So there's that, and there's my lovely big paintbrush. And what I'm going to do is glue this down. So need to make sure that I'm covering that rocking horse. That's the thing. Right, so I'm going to be really careful because we don't want to tear it, and we don't want it to what's the word, too crinkly or screwed up, which is why I'm coming middle out all the way. Okay. Right, a little bit more. I found with this stuff, it works best if you're liberal with it. If you try and be stingy with it, you get tears and crinkles and things like that. Right, we're just gonna get my bone folder. Bone folder's too thick. Right, I just wanted to lift that up to make sure that when I wanted to pull this out, it didn't all get damaged. Okay, so, and now I'm just going to do exactly the same thing on the other side to lose the gloss. And of course I've used the decorative part of this napkin already, so this is rubbish, you know, it really is leftover, so no problems there at all. You know, it's almost a free crafting supply. See it torn a little bit there, because my brush was a bit dry, and that's what you don't want to do, you see. The minute it gets dry, it doesn't work properly. So you need to make sure you work liberally with this stuff. There we go. And that's definitely not stuck, so that's fine. Okay, now I'm going to tear this off because I don't mind it not going all the way to that edge at the top. But we do want it at the bottom corner edge because of the rocking horse. And now, of course, I'm going to put on my peephole. So it's got glue underneath it where we've already done the napkin. What is that? Oh, it's the knitting that's on the back. That's why it's lumpy. Look, knitting needles. Okay, so that is my nostalgia page. Now obviously I can't shut it because I need it to dry, so I'll have to give you a bit of a flip through at a later date so that you can see how it ended. I can pull most of this excess off now. But you do get obviously a bit grundified. So when that's dry, I can come back, look, and snip all that. So for now, I'm going to say ta-ta. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed that, found some inspiration or whatever. Stay safe. I'll be back very soon. Ta-ta for now.